Hi everyone, this is Naini Chanimasong from BCE2B. I am discussing briefly about the Republic Act 9184 or otherwise known as the Government Procurement Reform Act. From Section 1, the purpose and general coverage, these implementing rules and regulations, Part A were hereinafter called the IRRA, is promulgated pursuant to Section 75 of Republic Act No. 9184 for the purpose of prescribing the necessary rules and regulations for the modernization, standardization, and regulations of the procurement activities of the government. This IRRA shall cover all fully domestically funded procurement activities from procurement planning up to contract implementation and termination except of the following. First is the acquisition of real property which shall be governed by Republic Act No. 8974 or entitled an act of the facilitate the acquisition of right-of-way, site or location for the national government infrastructure projects and for other purposes, and other applicable laws. And the second is the private sector infrastructure or development projects and other procurement covered by the Republic Act 7718 or entitled an act authorizing the financing, construction, operation, and maintenance of the infrastructure projects by the private sector and for other purposes as amended. The Section 2 where is the declaration of the policy. The provisions of this IRRA are in the line with the government's commitment to good governance and its effort to adhere to the principle of transparency, accountability, equity, efficiency, and economy in its procurement process. It is the policy of the government that procurement of infrastructure projects, goods, and consulting services shall be competitive and transparent, and therefore shall be through public bidding, except as there otherwise provided in this IRRA. It is also the policy of the government to adopt a standard and uniform set of the rules and regulations governing the procurement of infrastructure projects, goods and consulting services for government projects and other related activities that embodies a streamlined procurement process. In the Section 3 were the governing principles on government procurement shall be governed by these principles. First is the transparency in the procurement process and in the implementation of procurement contracts through wide dissemination of bid opportunities and participation of pertinent non-government organization. Second is the competitiveness by extending equal opportunity. The third is the streamlined procurement process that will uniformly apply to all government procurement. The fourth is the system of accountability where both the public officials directly or indirectly involved in the procurement process as well as in the implementation of procurement contracts and the private parties that deal with government. Fifth is the public monitoring of the procurement process and the implementation of awarded contracts with the end of the view of guaranteeing that these contracts are awarded pursuant to the provisions of the Act and this IRRA, and that all these contracts are performed strictly according to the specifications. And this Government Procurement Reform Act requires our procuring entities implementing government infrastructure projects to evaluate the performance of their contractors using the NEDA approved contractors perform the performance evaluation system or the CPES guidelines for the type of the project being implemented. This Republic Act will espouse the principles of transparency, competitiveness and accountability. It also mandates the use of the streamlined procurement processes and monitoring of the government procurement activities by the public. And that's all. Thank you.